What if the clearest sign yet of a life-friendly world beyond our solar system is not life itself, but a thin layer of gas hanging on around a rocky planet 48 light-years away? Welcome to the Automated Daily, Tech News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. It's July 19th, 2026, and I'm Trend Teller. Today, China makes a major play for AI influence. Europe turns up the pressure on Google, biotech gets a boost from machine-made gene editors, and space news brings both a distant atmosphere and a new rocket milestone closer to Earth. This episode is brought to you by CrispCall. CrispCall provides agentic cloud telephony for modern businesses. Find the link in the episode notes. We begin in Shanghai, where China used the 2026 World AI Conference to make a larger point. It wants to be seen not just as an AI builder, but as a rulemaker. President Xi called for international cooperation instead of a future shaped by one dominant country. And the headline move was the launch of a new intergovernmental group, the World Artificial Intelligence Cooperation Organization. Nearly 30 countries signed on, with a message built around open source collaboration and wider access. That sounds idealistic, but it is also strategic. Open models can spread standards, dependencies, and influence just as effectively as hardware or platforms, especially in countries that want AI capability without relying entirely on American firms. That message was reinforced by product reality. Moonshot AI unveiled Kimi K3, an open-weight model that appears much stronger than many expected, and by some accounts, close to the top tier of U.S. systems. The significance is not just benchmarking bragging rights. It suggests the AI race is getting tighter, cheaper, and harder for any one country to dominate. Also at the conference, BrainCo showed a non-invasive brain-computer interface that let users control robots with thought alone. It's still early-stage technology, but the demonstration offered a glimpse of a future where robotics, AI, and human input start blending in more practical ways. In Europe, regulators are pushing back on another concentration of AI power. The European Commission has ordered Google to make Android more open to competing AI assistants and to share certain internal search data with rivals. In plain terms, Europe does not want Gemini getting built-in advantages that nobody else can match simply because Google controls the mobile platform and the search engine underneath it. Google says the changes could create privacy and security risks, while regulators say safeguards can handle that. Either way, this is one of the clearest signs yet that AI competition policy is moving from abstract debate to direct intervention. At the same time, investors are rethinking who benefits most from the AI boom. Apple moved past Nvidia to become the world's most valuable company, at least for now. That shift does not mean Nvidia suddenly stopped mattering. It does mean the market is looking beyond chips and asking who can turn AI into everyday usefulness at massive scale. Apple has spent much of this cycle being described as late to the party, but its ecosystem, services business, and control over the iPhone give it a different route into the next phase. In other words, Wall Street seems more willing to bet that AI value will not sit in one layer of the stock forever. In biotech, artificial intelligence is starting to design tools that nature never made. Researchers have created synthetic CRISPR-related enzymes using AI, and some of those designs appear to edit genomes more efficiently than existing natural versions. The big deal here is not just faster lab work. It is the idea that scientists may be able to invent entirely new classes of gene editing tools, instead of only improving the ones evolution happened to leave behind. That could matter for medicine, crop science, and basic research alike. There is a second synthetic biology milestone worth watching too. The Yeast 2.0 project, an international effort to build the first eukaryote with a fully synthetic genome, has completed its final yeast chromosome in Australia before the full assembly phase in New York. Yeast may sound modest, but it is a workhorse organism for drugs, fuels, materials, and industrial biology. Making it programmable at the genome level could eventually reshape how biological manufacturing is done. It also keeps raising the familiar but important questions about safety, ownership, and how far synthetic life should go. Now to space, and the most intriguing discovery of the day. Astronomers say they have found the first confirmed atmosphere around a rocky, Earth-like planet in the habitable zone of another star. The planet is LHS 140b, about 48 light-years away. So far, the gas clearly detected is helium, which does not mean the planet is inhabited or even comfortable, but it does mean the planet has managed to hold on to an atmosphere, and that alone is a major step forward. Rocky worlds and habitable zones are exciting on paper. Rocky worlds that actually show atmospheric evidence are much rarer. This gives scientists a much stronger target in the broader search for potentially life-friendly planets. And staying with space, India's commercial launch sector reached an important turning point. Skyroot Aerospace successfully sent its Vikram 1 rocket into orbit, marking the country's first private orbital launch. That puts India in a very small club of nations where a private company has developed and flown an orbital rocket successfully. The milestone matters because it shows India's post-2020 space reforms are producing real launch capability, not just startup buzz. For satellite customers, more launch providers usually means more flexibility and eventually more competition. For the global space industry, it is another sign that access to orbit is no longer concentrated in just a handful of government-led systems. Thanks to our sponsor, 11 Labs. 11 Labs lets you discover the future of AI audio with cutting-edge voice technology. Find the link in the episode notes. That's the tech picture for July 19th, 2026. A bigger geopolitical fight over AI, sharper pressure on platform power, new momentum in synthetic biology, and a reminder that both space exploration and space business keep moving fast. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily, Tech News Edition. I'm Trent Teller, and I'll be back tomorrow with the next round of headlines that matter.